He wears red and white. He tipped the scales at 146 pounds. His professional record, 13 victories, 15 defeats, 1 draw, 5 big wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Vega, Baja, Puerto Rico, ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Fresh Sostre. And his opponent across the ring, he's fighting out of the red corner. He wears red, black, and yellow. He weighed in at an even 148 pounds. His professional record, 7 victories against 1 defeat. He has 1 draw and 2 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeremy J. Flash Nichols.
In the dressing room. Both your trunks are good. Touch them up. Good luck. God bless, guys.
So our first fight of the evening, Jeremy Nichols, young guy, 7-1-1 against Daniel Sestri. And I think it's fair to say that Nichols hasn't faced anybody with the experience of Sestri.
No, Daniel Sostre is a New York City veteran. He's lost 6 in a row, but 10, let's check this out, 10 of his last 14 opponents were unbeaten.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough matchmaking.
Yeah, it is tough matchmaking. Exactly. You could tell he's at the point in his career where he's just taking these kind of tough fights and trying to maybe get a couple of bucks and not get hurt in the process.
And Paul, you can't blame him because he lives in Puerto Rico now, and his house was damaged by the recent hurricane, so you totally understand that.
Yeah, he left the New York cold. He couldn't take it anymore, but unfortunately the natural disasters in Puerto Rico hurt that.
Took the fight on a week's notice, and in all candor, he told us I'm about 60%.
Yeah, I mean, I saw him fight a couple weeks ago on the Davey Jacobs versus Luis Arias on the card, so that wasn't that long ago. Depending, of course, how long notice he had before that fight. But but he's been fighting. He's keeping a busy schedule here. He lands a nice right hand on the southpaw Nichols.
Yeah, good straight right hand. It's a good fight to learn, I think, for a guy like Nichols.
Yeah, Solskjaer was a decent amateur, and he's just obviously become a product of the business that happens to some guys in the pros. But he knows the way around the ring, and if you're not up to par, he will give you some trouble. He's a solid veteran, and when you get a guy like this who's lost 6 fights in a row, they more look to win less and survive more.
Right.
But they're good enough to beat you if you're not up to par. Like right now, what Solskjaer is doing, he's kind of seeing what Nichols has, and if it's okay to raise the tempo, or if he's gonna have to fight a defensive fight and just make sure he loses another decision.
Yeah, he told us he's a slow starter historically, but he said 6-round fight. I got to start a little bit sooner in this fight.
Well, Nichols seems to have the right idea. Though I think one of the ways you beat a guy like Sostre, a veteran, who usually comes out on the losing end, you outwork him. Sostre is not a busy fighter. And Nichols throws short punches. He's a short fighter, very muscular, but he throws short punches, and as long as he's busy, he should be okay in this fight.
That's the thing about these veterans who you can learn from. You learn from the things they do in the ring, and they do it enough not to beat you.
Right.
Because a lot of times they don't want it bad enough as much as a young guy will. So you can always want it a little more than them, even if they're more knowledgeable than you. And then you learn in the process. You take some of their knowledge in the process.
Some pretty good body work in this first round by Nichols. Nichols, the busier of the two. 2 shots to the body right there, missed the right hand. Nichols, very good athlete. You can see that. It's a pretty good left hand from Sostre. Sostre right to the body. Coming to the end of round 1. This is a 6-round fight.
Sostre's feeling himself here at the end of the round.
End of the first round. We had a chance to talk to Jeremy Nichols about what a great effect the presence of Evander Holyfield has had on him.
You would have never thought that he was the fighter that he was by talking to him, because he's a such chill, mellow guy, but he was an animal once the bell rang. And that's cool, because that gave me the look that I need. I'm a goofball outside the ring. I'm a goofball in the ring now too, but I need to switch that from being a goofball outside the ring to being a complete animal inside the ring. I could be a goofball when that last bell rang.
I don't know, Paulie. Is it a good thing to be a goofball in the ring?
Well, as long as you know when to be serious, there's got to be a dividing line there where you know you have to be serious too. You want to entertain though, you want to have fun, but you also want to make sure your product is up to par.
Easier to be a goofball when you're winning.
Yeah. Easier to get away with it too. Fans are a bit less forgiving when you're a goofball and you're losing.
Yes. This is the second round. Nichols a little bit busier in that first round, I thought.
Yeah, his round, and one thing you see right away, this is a very small ring, so if Nichols is applying pressure, Sostry was pretty slick in that first round, but nonetheless, you take a couple of steps backward if you're the fighter in retreat and you're on the ropes.
You see what Sostry's doing, kind of giving a couple of half steps there. It's changing the look. High guard now against the ropes.
Sostry with that high guard, Paulie, I think Nichols is smart. He's going, his highest percentage of landing is definitely to the body.
Yeah, absolutely, and a better chance to land cleanly to the body too when Sostry gives you that high guard. But it's almost like a sparring partner mentality Sostry takes at times, you know, where it's going to be just enough to not beat you, but are you going to be able to open him up? Are you going to be able to do what a lot of prospects can't, and that's stop Sostry, right. You know, get him out of there, give him more trouble than the average guy. But Sostry, again, he may have all these losses, he's adding up the losses, but he's got enough veteran experience between the amateurs and the pros to know his way around there and know how to not get hurt, and how to not let you hurt him.
Yeah, he's been in there, Steve, with some pretty good guys.
Oh, Sostry's been in with some excellent fighters. We had him on Showtime against Gabriel Bracero. He fought Danny O'Connor, who's a big star here in the New England area. Mike Zuski. Again, all these undefeated guys. Ray Robinson, who's a pretty good fighter.
This guy's being a goofball back and forth to each other now. Both guys giving each other a shimmy when they land shots.
He's dragging Sostry into the goofball mentality.
Yeah. Sostry at times gets a little confidence, and you see him getting into that. I saw it at the end of the first round too, gets him to a little showboat. Nichols not turning right-handed.
That's pretty sharp right hand from Nichols. And an uppercut slipped in by Nichols.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be a little bit creative there to open Sostry up a little bit and give Sostry something to think about.
Well, Nichols, as you point out, Paul, he's fighting right-handed right now. He says he's totally ambidextrous. So.
All right, break, guys, break. Game the thing. Come on, what's next?
Back to the southwest stance now.
Okay. Good body. Come on, rip some, baby. Rip some.
Nichols keeps showing the jab, but he doesn't do much with it.
Yeah, I think Sostry's kind of frustrating him. What he's got to try to do is make Sostry make that first move and not commit, and Nichols not commit to his first move, so that when he gets Sostry to make the first move, he can make him pay for it. Right now, Nichols is committing too much on his first move, and Sostry is reacting to that first move, and Nichols can't do anything about it. So you want to make Sostry make that first move when you don't make your first move, so that you can set the trap and catch him on the
And most of that last flurry by Nichols missed at the bell. Anthony Bongiorni in the corner of Sostry. Guys spin around the track a little bit.
Yeah, what he probably wants to tell Sostry, although I'm not sure Sostry will necessarily acknowledge it, is you got to try to take some control of the fight, try to be a little busier and be a little bit more the aggressor. He's just even if Nichols is not landing his punches, he's going to get the rounds because he's so much busier than Sostry.
Yeah, it seems that's the difference in the fight so far. We come to round 3, scheduled for 6. Nichols in the black trunks, Sostry in the red and white.
Did we hear yesterday Nichols said he ran a 4.340 when he was a running back in high school?
Yeah, and he went to
scary, man. That's NFL, right?
Top-notch high school. Long Beach Poly is where he went to school. They have more people in the National Football League than any high school in America.
Wow.
And this poor guy just wasn't built big enough to be a running back.
No hold him, no hold him.
Paulie, when you see a guy like Nichols with the bulging biceps and triceps and the V body, first thing I think of is probably not a puncher because he's so muscular. Do you agree?
Muscle bound. Yeah. I try not to assume too much about how hard a guy's going to hit because I don't want to take anybody lightly when I'm in the ring. If I'm about to get in the ring with them. But I was never really, muscles weren't really something I ever looked at in terms of if my opponent had a lot of them or not. I never felt like they would help him anyway. You know what I'm saying? I felt like other things would help him. Yeah. I was more scared of a guy who was tall and lanky or had a long reach or something, you know. Those guys gave me more to think about.
Yeah. Tommy Hearns guys.
Yeah, you know, like I ever saw a guy like that across the ring, I'm like,
he can punch also.
How am I gonna cut that distance on this guy?
Pretty good body work here in this round being done by Jeremy Nichols.
One way you can try to open Sostri up, as Paulie was saying he's trying to do, is take a few steps back. Maybe Sostri will come in and lead.
Well, Sostri is kind of trying to bait Nichols into making mistakes now. He's trying to play around. He's giving a lot of touch shots. But again, like I said at the end of the last round, I think Nichols has to throw some baiting shots at him. I think Sostri's kind of feeling himself. He's getting some confidence. Not that he's winning the rounds. I don't think he's doing enough activity-wise to win the rounds. But he's not losing the rounds because he can't match up skill-wise. He's losing the rounds because he's not matching up activity-wise. But I think Nichols, with a little bit of creativity, can open up Sostri a little bit because Sostri is kind of open. He's got his hands down, you know, he's making moves a bit too wide sometimes, like right there. You know, so there is something you can set traps for if you don't overcommit to the first move.
And this time, those shots starting to get through the guard of Sostri from Nichols. Started with 2 shots to the body.
Take it.
Sostri's calm. It can be a good thing. Or it can be a bad thing there, but it's going to show that he's going to be in punching distance for Nichols to try to do something.
There's a left hand by Sostri.
You know what it is when you're a guy like Sostri, you have 6 losses in a row. The pressure's not on you. The pressure's on Nichols to win and try to look good. You know, if you lose your 6th or 7th in a row, people aren't gonna really think anything about it. You know, you went the distance. You know, you went the distance. You gave the guy the work he needs. But for Nichols, the pressure is more on the prospect all the time. You know, when you've been in this situation.
That time, Nichols opened up a bit, but still a round that you have to think Nichols wins.
We talked about what a small ring it is, 16 feet, so invariably you can have moments like this where Nichols, who has been the aggressor most of the fight, Sostri with the high guard, so Nichols smart to work around those elbows and try to push the body both with the right hand and the left hand. Scoring blows.
The only guy I've ever seen have grills in his mouthpiece. Nichols lives now and trains in Las Vegas, native, as we said, Southern California.
Leave it up to you.
Barry, you called his loss in Louisville to Peter Dobson. Pretty close fight. And Peter Dobson, Paulie and I know him from New York. You know, a relatively decent prospect. So, pretty close fight, but Dobson got it. Despite, I think, the fact that Dobson spit out his mouthpiece or had his mouthpiece fall out of his mouth 4 different times.
Yes. Yeah, it was a close fight. And you can make a case either way. He said that Dobson came to him, which he didn't expect him to do.
And it's interesting with Nichols because he did lose that fight his last time out. Evander Holyfield, the promoter, is very anxious to keep giving fighters chances, even if they do lose. And the reason is his own career. He said, you know, nobody quit on me when I lost, and I was able to come back and win titles.
Sometimes it creates that hunger. No one had to come back. It builds that character.
Right now, it looks as if Sostri may be tiring a little bit. Nichols keeps him pinned on the ropes. A headbutt there, top of the right side of the head. No cut though.
See, you'll see a lot of touches with the lead hand by Nichols. You know, it's like that southpaw touch. But I want to see a little bit of different look. Feint with your arm, feint with your shoulder, feint with your legs. The only way he's trying to set the punch distance is by touching. He's not feinting. He's not generating any move out of soul straight. They try to generate a move out of soul straight with a feint with your legs or a feint with your shoulder. See where soul straight goes. See if soul straight reacts. See if soul straight freezes on the feint, and then maybe you can punch off that. But just touching. It works if you mix it with other stuff. But right now, that's the only thing Nichols is doing. It's not creative enough. It's going to win the fight on activity, but you want to learn in these kind of fights. Those are the things you want to be working on.
Close to another headbutt there as they go into the corner.
Well, that's that lefty versus righty afraid of.
Yeah.
A lot of clashes of heads tend to happen with that. I remember when I fought Judah, I had like a couple head cuts on my head, my forehead, on my eyebrow, and underneath for that fight.
Sostre will get there occasionally with a punch, but
yeah, Sostre's main objective is not to win tonight. You know, it's just going to go to distance.
Yeah, and we talked about this yesterday with him. You know, if you're watching at home, you go, why doesn't Sostre throw more punches? One of the reasons he's not fully conditioned, and when you're not fully conditioned, you lack the confidence to throw 80 punches around because you think you're going to tire out.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, not getting stopped gets you not suspended, so you can be called back again for another fight to maybe pick up another check before the holidays.
right,
You know?
exactly. Nichols right on top of not really allowing Sostre to get off. Sostre takes a step back, takes a deep breath. Final seconds of round 4. A pretty good right hand there. Drives Sostre back into the ropes to Pavel. We are, as we said, at the Strand Theater. The place has been around forever. It opened in 1917, and it's been used for stage shows, not to mention movies, and not to mention events like this. It is the oldest theater in Providence, and we mentioned the fact that it's run the gamut of guys from Ice Cube all the way to the Three Stooges.
That you caught our attention. You caught Paulie and my attention with the Three Stooges reference. No doubt about it.
One of them went to my high school, New Utrecht High School.
Which one? Do you know which one?
I don't know. I think Mo.
Mo? Mo Howard, yeah. Wow. They played the Strand, huh?
Got a good look at Sostre there, and perhaps the pace starting to tell on him a little bit. Not that it's been that quick a pace.
Well, I know he's not in the best of shape, Sostre, but he has gone 8. He's even been 10. So 6 shouldn't be too hard, even in his somewhat compromised state.
A little bit of swelling under the right eye of Sostre, but there really hasn't been any one damaging punch thrown by Nichols in this fight.
And again, I like how Nichols went to cut the ring off there and he forced Sostre back the other way.
That was a good right hand.
I want to see him. I want to see if he's getting a little creative cutting the distance now. Let's see.
Pretty good body shot. Gets a warning to keep him up. It was close. Kind of leaned into a right hand from Sostre that time.
It's interesting, when Sostre's been against the ropes, he pretty much hasn't held a lot. Now he pushes off, but he doesn't hold a lot. And that's given Nichols a lot of chances to bang that right hook to the body like he just did.
Yeah, he came up to the head with the right hand. That's been a pretty effective combination for him.
Good exchanges here. Those guys letting their hands go here this round. I think Sostre realizes maybe he's got to fight this guy off a little bit.
Yeah, and he's effective when he punches. It's not like he can't land any shots, Sostre, but...
Sostre has a pretty good pedigree. You know, it's just a matter of how much effort he's going to give.
Yeah, not doing a whole lot in this round. It's just getting outworked every round.
And this is good matchmaking for Nichols. Coming off a loss, a close loss, his first loss, he's 7-1-1. 27 years old, so he's not that young for a prospect. But he's signed with Real Deal Boxing. And a good comeback opponent, a fighter he should beat. He's probably going to beat, but he's going to have to work for at least 6 hard rounds for it.
Yeah, and you hope that he's learning in the process. This is the
Right.
kind of opponent that will do just enough to not beat you, and you can see the things you need to work on and get better going from here. You know.
Doing some pretty good work now to the body. Gets Sostre to cover up.
Yeah, he's raised the tempo. This is one of Nichols' best rounds, if not his best round. I think he's really done a good job of finally making Sostre uncomfortable. I thought the previous rounds he was out working Sostre, but he wasn't really making Sostre uncomfortable. I think this round he's done a really good job with it. He's actually got Sostre pretty uncomfortable.
Step back. Step back over.
Final seconds of round 5.
Rest. Take the back of his glove. Coming on.
Sostre can be frustrating to watch because you'll watch when he does punch. Right now he's on the receiving end, but when he does punch, he can be effective. But he's just not doing enough of it. And when you look at him in the corner, you see he's fatigued.
One more round to go for Sostre.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's exactly what he's thinking. You can see, good look here at the Strand Theater coming down from the chandeliers. Not often you do boxing where we have chandeliers.
Indeed, and now Barry Tompkins can say he played the Strand also.
That's right, exactly.
It's impressive.
Johnny Cash, also another name that I should mention, played the Strand.
Quite the resume, Barry. I'm still trying to decide which one is better, the night of George Best, hanging out the club scene of George Best in the Northern Cal, or being a Rocky IV.
That's why I look as old as I do. I gotta tell you, not so much the Rocky IV, but
that'll shave some years, right? Nice combination. I like that step around. There's some creativity that I wanted to see from Nichols.
Changed angles. And Nichols is fighting this fight like he knows this is the last round. Accelerating, not leaving anything.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted to see from Nichols a couple of rounds ago.
Yeah,
You know, show me that you're thinking in there, because Sostre is the guy you're going to beat anyway. But if you show me you're thinking, you show me your willingness to improve, and Nichols has shown me that in the last couple of rounds.
He's a guy kind of learning on the job. He only had 16 amateur fights, very short amateur career. He was a great athlete, though. As I said, he was a track and field athlete and a football player.
You can't help but think of Sean Porter, same division. Sean Porter was a star football player in high school. Well, let me tell you, as solidly as Sean Porter is built, he's not built like this guy. This guy is
Yeah, he's strong.
got about a 14-inch waist, I think.
Don't hold him. Come on. And work on it.
Sostre, for his part, doing what he does. Lasting, right? That's it.
Yeah, surviving.
Never really been hurt in this fight.
But never really trying to give himself a chance to win either.
Right.
Okay. He's not the guy that as a prospect you're supposed to get beat by. He's the guy as a prospect you're supposed to take some stuff to learn from. And I think in this fight, the learning curve for Nichols is opening up an opponent who's not easily engaging with you. How do you open him up? You got to be a bit more creative.
And earlier in the fight, you saw Sostre much slicker, you know, dipping down and showing angles and stuff, defensively, I mean. And he's not doing any of that last 2 or 3 rounds. So he's clearly fatigued.
And the body punches of Nichols, I think, have also contributed to that slowing down.
Sostre tried to fight off the ropes, but clearly a case of too little, too late. And Nichols drives Sostre back into the ropes. And that's it, and I'm quite sure a lopsided victory unless somebody saw something that none of us saw.
Yeah, 60-54. I'd be surprised if it's any different.
Yeah.
So it is in the hands of the judges, and we will have that decision when we come back.
Two skeletons walk into a radiology office. One says, "Hey, you know what would make me smile?" "No. What?" "Some facial muscles." "Hey." Who said skeletons weren't, humorous?
Radiology is no joke. Go to Medical Arts for all your imaging needs.
You can train longer, sweat more and more to get ready for the fight.
Across the ring, fighting out of the red corner.
Hate and being hate won't stop your doubts. You will fail and lose if you have to. But whatever happens, get up and fight your limits. Venom.
And we welcome you back to the Strand Theater here in Providence. Barry Tompkins, Steve Farhood, Paulie Malignaggi. Let's get the decision on this one once more. Here's Dave Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action, we go to the judges' score totals. Frank Lombardi, 60-54. Martha Tremblay and Eddie Scunzio both scored this contest, 59-55. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Jeremy J. Flash Nichols.
So Jeremy Nichols runs his record now to 8 up and 1 down with a draw. Still 2 knockouts on his resume, and Jeremy says, give it up for Sostre.
Won the fight.
And Nichols did what he needed to do coming off a loss.
I knew he had it. Hi.
Nice kid, expecting his 5th child. Got one 10 years old and 1 on the way and 4 others at home.
In between that.
That'll keep you working.
Not a fight.
So Jeremy Nichols is the winner of our first fight. We still got plenty more to come, both here, streaming on TheRealDeal.com. When we come back, the debut of Pondexter Knight against Samuel Forjo.